can help in case the case is beyond our capabilities. So basically, that's it for the connection. Yeah.
Thank you very much, dear. How to navigate through the early years of marriage. Today's topics is loaded. It's something that is very cardinal. Why is it important? Because you find that even people that have married for a long time, they still have those early marriage blues sometimes. So we needed to look at some things that we can do to help couples navigate through. And we want to tell of some bit of our story, how we managed ourselves. So one thing is for sure, that if you are a bit depressed during the few months of your marriage, don't mind about it. These are things that are normal. You know, you've gone through some weddings that are hectic. You've just left your parents. You've left another family. You are joining this stranger, and you are still skeptical. You know, you've seen some other good side of this guy, of this person. You are entering into a new relationship, into a new, something that's new, unique, and you still have those few things and here and there. But mind you, you went through some wedding, you went through some preparations, and that brings some bit of tension, that brings some bit of depression. Those are common things. But tonight we want to talk about things that, you know, that couples go through the early marriages, but must navigate through them. Otherwise, if they cannot navigate through them, they are headed for a breakdown, which is not our prayer. And I hope and pray that the month of August has been blissful to every couple gathered here, because that has been our prayer. We've been praying for you. We've been praying for couples, for families. And just know, my wife and I, we love you. We have our heart for you. Yeah. And it's not something that we are maybe experts or something, that we are learning from, you know, one another. You know, so I just want, before I consume our time, there are a lot of things that, you know, the research has it that in the first 1 year, 2 years, 4 years, there are things that come in marriages that, if they are not handled properly, they lead to divorce. In other words, the early years of marriage, that's where the foundations are set. Foundations of a good marriage life, foundations of a good family life. And if we neglect those early years, you find that we have something that will not be good. So I just want to tell you that these are facts. In the research that was done, I said that most of those people that have not handled well their early lives in marriage, they have not sat down to look at their finances, they have not sat down to look at their chores, they have not sat down to look at without fear, or, you know, being, you know, the Bible says that they were both naked, and, you know, they were not ashamed. In other words, there's nothing they're hiding from each other. They must just talk with things. They must do something about it as early as possible. That brings success in the marriage. So I think my wife will get us through some few things, so that she will introduce us to a few things that we need to look at. These are just so many broad, but broadly speaking, we just picked a few of them that you'll find very interesting, that even as you have grown in marriage, you know, it's possible that you've even bypassed the early lives of marriage, but you still have those issues which you were supposed to sort out early in marriage. And this, what a rare opportunity we have tonight to just share one with another how we can navigate through. Yeah.
Yes, so as we have all seen on our advert tonight, today, this morning, I don't know what time it is where you are. So we are looking at how to navigate through the early life in marriage. And we are going to explain it by saying our story.
Yeah.
I think we explain it better by saying our story.
Yeah.
So one thing that we discovered in our early life of marriage, one thing that brought conflicts, one thing that brought friction, one of the things is personalities. Personalities brought quite a lot of conflicts in our relationship because him is quite his personality is the dominant, and he's an outward. He's outward.
Yeah.
I'm an introvert.
Yeah.
So when we just got married, a few months down the line, because of his personality, he wanted to be driving me, you know, like making me like an extension of himself.
Yeah.
So that was a problem.
Mm.
And being an introvert, I wasn't like coming out in the open to tell him how I was feeling with the way he was dominating my everything. So I ended up keeping quiet and becoming so sad and lonely. I wouldn't speak to him, and you'd find the home was tense for first like 2 years. You'd find most of the time the home was tense because he wanted to dominate me, and I was like, what? And one thing you should know is that during the courtship, what happened, I'm speaking about us.
Yeah.
What happened is his personality and my personality during our courtship. What used to happen is when we go out for a date or we meet, we would exhibit our strength. So I was attracted to his strength.
Yeah.
He was also attracted to my strength. He's a natural born leader.
Yeah.
I'm a thinker, I'm a planner. So those strengths, when we meet during dating, attracted us to each other.
Yeah.
We never showed our weaknesses during dating. So it so happened that when we got married, a few months down the line, our weaknesses started to show.
Yeah.
So I got shocked. This man, why is he behaving like this? I'm sure even him was shocked. Why is she behaving like this? You know, why is she quiet? Why is she moody? You know, one of my weaknesses is being moody. So that brought friction between me and him. You'd find that even new people, I'm sure you don't have our personalities. You have different personalities from us.
Yeah.
You might have maybe some of you, but you find you also have different personalities. When you are with your spouse, the weaknesses of your spouse irritate you and you end up fighting. So we learned in life, one thing that we never went through just before we got married is during our premarital counseling, we were not taught about personalities. We were not taught about personalities. So when we got married, everything was a shock to discover the weak side of him. He discovered the weak side of me. And we were like, can I continue going on like this? Why does he want to rule my world? Why does he want to control me like I'm his baby? Doesn't he know I've got my own likes? I've got my own taste of things. He wants me to like his everything that he likes. And also he was getting shocked. Why is she so moody? Why is she slow in deciding things? You know, we discovered our negative sides, and those irritated us. Yeah. Want to add something?
Yeah, because one thing is that we are a perfect match. Yeah, we are a perfect match. I am an extrovert. She is an introvert. And I am, work-oriented. She's also work-oriented. That makes a perfect match. We cannot be in the same arena of personalities. And, those who are in the same arena of personalities, they must be able to copy or to see other couples, learn from others who are separate personalities, how they are navigating through. But we needed this information that we're sharing tonight that would have helped us a lot. But as we went on along, we began to see even other couples. We began to visit couples. We began to just share. We could just call a couple. We didn't know why we were doing what we were doing. We could call a couple. We share with them a few things here and there. We share a meal with them. Sometimes we go to their place or go to an eating place. We organize even 3 couples. We didn't know why we were doing that, but we just enjoyed it. Eventually, when I was doing my pastoral, when I went for college, doing my pastoral, I bumped into a lecturer who was teaching us about personalities. So I said, wow, this is the thing. And from nowhere, I began to teach my wife. I came back home smiling. I said, we have found what we've been looking for. And we began to practice the things, we began to share. And we said, wow, this is why I'm behaving like this. This is how she's behaving like this. And we began to enjoy. And we from there, we realized that we are meant for each other. We are a perfect match,
Yeah.
We only just wanted to blend and begin to adjust, but that came a little bit later. But how we survived, because we began to, because we trusted so much on God, whereby, our trust was just on God. Had it not been for God, had it not for prayer. One thing about me is also I'm prayerful, because my nature, my personality is that of prayer, that spirituality is part of me. So that helped us through our lives, to bring, even without the knowledge, the aspect of the knowledge of who we really are, personalities, we survived through prayer. We survived through the word of God. We survived through the church. We survived through, just tolerating a lot of things because of God who has brought us together, So, yeah. One thing you have to know about marriage is that marriage is 24/7, 365 serious business. There's nothing like I'm going for leave, nothing like we're going for leave away from each other. We are fully engaged. So even the adjusting and mending and coming together, you need to do it there and then as you get the information, So that's what we did ourselves. So, marriage is about blending. When you blend together, then you have succeeded. It's about living completely and cleaving completely. You leave your parents, you come and cleave to your new family. That understanding also helped us, to pass through that. Although we knew this later, that helped us as well. I'll say something.
Yeah, I'm moving on to our next point, how we navigated through our early life of marriage. The other thing that we had issues with was our background.
Yeah.
Okay? We were so naive when it came to our background. I never knew exactly where he was coming. I thought I knew, but when we got married, a few months after our wedding, I started seeing some irritating things concerning him because of his background. He also observed some of my behavior because of my background. So I'm going to explain what really brought some crashing when it came to us. I came from, my background is that I came from the Likando Sibeleki University That's my mom and dad.
Yeah.
He came from the Makono University, his mom. I learned from the Likandos Veleki University, that is my parents, the school where I came from. I learned things for 24 years. From the time I was born until I was 24, I was learning from the Likandos Velekis. Then he also was learning from the University of the Makono from the time he was born until he was 30 years old, because he got married when he was 30. I was 24. So for 24 years, I only knew things relating to my background, relating to my mom and dad. He also knew things relating to his mom and dad. So what brought frictions for us? My background is that I was coming from the church. I was from like New Apostolic, and because of also my personality, I'm a kind of person who don't listen to loud music, to music like those music that have got the rumba beats. I wouldn't listen to such. That's how I grew up. And coming from a New Apostolic setup, you find that the kind of singing in the church was completely different from the beats of the songs coming from the world music. That's my background. That's how I grew up. And later in life, as I was growing up, I even joined a group called orchestra. So I was playing in this orchestra. It's a group of people that play instruments. So I was like one of the people who was playing instruments as well. I used to play a clarinet because I couldn't sing. I don't have a good voice when it comes to singing. So that's my background. And me hearing things like rumba music, I related rumba music to people who were naughty. If someone listens to such music or they dance in a certain way, that's my background. That's what I knew. Someone who would dance to rumba music, they are naughty, they don't listen. Then after 24 years, I get married to this man. By then, this man, when I got married to this man, I found him in Bread of Life as a very good woman who was taught that I need to be submissive to my husband. And I was advised by some of the church leaders from where I was coming from that I need to be very submissive and I need to follow him where he goes. We need to worship to the same church. So automatically I changed and joined my husband. Now here is what happened. When we went to church for the first time, during praise and worship, some of the songs that were sung during praise, they had a bit of rumba, but with a message that speaks of God, and people were dancing like crazy. And the dances, these are the dances to me that I thought that are only found in bars or are only done by the people who are crazy or naughty or who don't listen. And I'm in this church. I'm seeing people are dancing, they're even going down, going up, dancing. My personality dancing, my background dancing like that, you are naughty, you don't listen. And I was like, what am I going to manage? So whenever I'm in church, I would be like put off. I'm like, oh, this kind of music. I wasn't happy at all. I used to enjoy worship time because the worship songs were like kind of cool, and they were, to me, they were normal. The rhythm and stuff, they were not rumba like. At least they related to where I was coming from. So I hated praise time. I liked worship time. That was an issue, such that when I'm coming from church, I come back home, I'm moody. I'm like, what I found there is crazy. And I wouldn't even tell him, I would just like, and then when I come home, I want to listen to the music that I'm used to. I would like change, and maybe those days we had free to air channel. So I would like change and listen to some classic music, and him would like, what? What's that? What kind of music is that? And I'm like, this is what I know, this is what I like. So that brought friction. Background. So that's our background. That's what brought friction between me and him.
Yeah.
You might have a different kind of background that might bring friction between the two of you as well there. It might not be church, it can be culture. You know, it can be something else, but background also is one of the issues that can bring fightings in families, because where you are coming from is not where your partner is coming from.
Yeah.
So you've got different perceptions when it comes to certain things, when it comes to the taste of things and stuff like that. So as that crushed us, it took time for me to adjust. It took time for me to understand. I had to learn to let go of my mother and father's university and learn to create our own university. He had also to let go of his mom and dad's university. So we created our own system that worked well for both of us.
Living and cleaving is the issue.
Yes.
And remember, she's, you know, according to her personality, she's to the analytical, she's to the musical, she's to the thoughtful, the perfectionist, you know, combined with the background, the experience in her life, the university she's coming from, that brought something. And, you know, and I did know also the other side of her in terms of musical, because she is musical, she analyzes music, she plays nice music, professional music. We're talking about professional music. The other thing I want to share with us on the background is that I'm from a divorced, broken home family. You know what that means? She's from an intact, till death do us part kind of family. You know, because a research has it that children that are born from a broken home, they are twice likely to divorce than those who are from a proper, you know, a home without divorce. So that was an issue, because children learn from what they see. No matter what you tell them, you can tell them, oh, don't do this, don't divorce. As far as I'm concerned, my dad and my father, my mom, never wanted to divorce. As far as I'm concerned, these guys even used to stress that I wish I didn't divorce so much. Even when the day they were divorcing each other, they were crying, both of them. And let me tell you one thing. Anyone who was divorced out there, ask them one question. Do you still love your former? They will tell you that I love them. So it's beyond love. It's about adjusting. It's about blending. It's about growth. So I'm from that kind of a background. And when you tell you that, when they were telling me that, no, I wish I didn't divorce your mom, I was hearing the other language. The other language I was hearing was what I was saying, that they had divorced. So with me, one thing is that I didn't want to break because of my background. What do? I made it a point. I told, I'm the firstborn in the family. I made it a point that I will never have a child outside wedlock before marriage. Number two, I'll marry and never divorce. God is my witness. Even when we courted with my wife, we courted for about 5 to 6 years. Yeah, that there were people saying, how do you know what she's doing outside? They were also saying, how do you know what he's doing the other side? We caught it, but I made it a point. I told her the first day we met that for me, it's marriage, no playing. Because I'm from that background, I didn't want to be, overshadowed by that negative background. And I made sure that, you can ask her, what has happened. Today, that's why we are taking these things seriously. To help couples never to divorce. Divorce is something that affects generations, but I refused. I refused to go that way. And it has helped me. It has really helped me. Want to say something here?
Yeah. Though not exactly what you said.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to move on to another issue that made us have friction in our early life. One other issue that brought friction in our early life is communication. So we'll not talk about the professional communication, we'll just talk the surface one, okay? So communication brought a lot of issues also because of our background and our personality.
Yeah.
Since we were so naive and ignorant, we didn't know how to handle each other. We didn't know how to put things in place. We didn't know how to solve issues. So for example, like if I have something that I want to talk about with him, the way I used to approach it is this way. I'll just look at him and say, you did this to me. You never did this to me. You forgot my birthday. You. You want to make an extension of yourself, about me. You. And then because of his personality as well, his personality naturally, he likes arguing. He likes winning arguments.
Yeah.
Whether he's wrong or right,
I would win any case.
he just want to win.
I think I would have made a better lawyer.
Yeah. That's who he is. So I would be pointing, why did you do this? And then he would defend himself automatically, and win the case. And as a result, we never solved anything. We just left the courtroom depressed.
Yeah.
We made the issues worse.
Yeah.
Went to bed, this one looks the other side, the other looks the other side. Why? We were so naive. We didn't know how to communicate. We never had communication tools.
Exactly.
Yeah, so that made us, it was hell. The first 2 years was hell. Then later, we discovered through learning and attending some workshops and seminars concerning marriage.
Yeah.
We learned a better way of communicating.
Yeah, and one thing I like was that we were learning together. Each time there's a seminar on marriage, maybe there's a book, we could get books. Every night we read maybe a chapter to each other.
Yeah.
We made sure that we have to learn this stuff, otherwise we're headed for a downfall. We made a lot of strides to make sure that we're on course.
Yes.
Yeah.
So how did I improve my accusing finger thing? I stopped accusing him. Instead, I began explaining to him my feelings. Instead of saying you, I started saying I.
Wow. And that was wow.
I was like, I feel so neglected if you do like this. I feel so lonely if these things happen this way. I feel this, and he started understanding my side because I was not accusing him.
Actually, I melted.
Okay, he said he melted, so that melted him. Yeah. You want to add something?
Yeah, that made me a better husband, I can tell you. One thing about my personality is that I don't feel sorry. Yeah, that's what one weakness I have. But when I find a situation where she's submissive, that, brought out my positive. We made sure that we subdued our negativities. Immediately we understood who we are, and then we began to say, oh, now this kind of temperament, how do I communicate to her? How does she communicate to me? That was perfect. Remember backgrounds, remember personalities, communication levels are different. Even you guys, you may have different personalities, different backgrounds from us. So even your communications upon your personalities, get it from there. Communicate according to personalities and according to the standard norm of communication. I tell you, communication is they say communication is the beginning of it all. This is where the relationship starts. It starts from communication. It's the engine of the marriage life. Communication is the engine of the marriage life. Like it or not, there we all need to improve. And there's nothing like graduating in marriage.
Yeah.
We are still learning from you people. We are still learning from other people. We are still learning. We have just improved. How has been our marriage?
Yeah, great. We've improved so greatly because we've realized that marriage, that is why when you get married, you're given a certificate before you've even started the school of marriage, because this university of marriage does not end.
Yeah.
So we've discovered that in marriage, you have to learn every day. So we just decided that we'll be learning every day. When we hear any program on marriage, we jump on board and we learn one or two things. We hear this program on families, we jump on board, we learn one or two things. So we just deliberately decided to learn on a daily basis.
And one of the important things that we learned was that instead of attacking each other, we began to attack the problem.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I was not realizing that we're improving. There was a time she had some bit of under attack, from some point. I defended her to the latter, because that when I see her broken, for her she'll go under depression. For me, it's a baby. For me, it's a plaything. I would rather, I would rather lift people. That's me. I'm leading.
Yeah.
When I see her depressed because of some issue somewhere, I would defend her the latter. When I see that she's changing her, the communication, that brought me to begin to also love her even more. So it worked.
Yeah. One thing that I want to just add, as you were saying, that popped in my head is that we worked on our when we learned these things, we learned our background, we learned the communication skills, we also learned our personalities. They worked to our advantage. We became such a strong team. So what we've done is, because my weaknesses are his strength, his weaknesses are my strength. So deliberately, worked on our weaknesses. So deliberately, I've learned his strength. I've learned to do what he does. He's learned to do what I do.
I listen more.
Yeah, he listens more because he was poor at
think
listening.
more.
He thinks more.
I plan more.
Yeah, those are my strengths. So he has adopted that.
I'm more musical now.
Yeah, and then my weaknesses were that I was an introvert, very quiet, too quiet, annoyingly quiet. So I learned from him. He's a go-getter. He's an extrovert. I've learned to speak. such that people think I'm an extrovert. Those who don't know me very well, some people think I'm an extrovert. I'm not. I've just learned it from him. Actually, I even become more talkative when I'm with him.
Yeah.
I've learned to talk. I've learned to talk when I need
Sometimes
to
I have
talk.
to cool her down. Please, cool down, cool down.
Yeah, I've learned to speak when I need to talk. And I've learned to also be a go-getter because of him.
Yeah.
So deliberately, because of that, we are like kind of working on our weaknesses and we kind of do away with them without even realizing it.
Dear, one of the things that we will share on our different temperaments, we are both workaholics.
Yeah.
So that give us anything to work on as a couple.
Yeah.
It will turn into gold.
Yeah. When we work together, we combine our strength, and so you can do the same as well. You'd find that.
Give us a project. It will just shoot.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
that's how dangerous we are. That's our danger point.
Yeah.
So you'd find also as couples, you can work, like combine your strength, you become very dangerous. People will be like, wow, what's this? Work as a team, and just remember that the weakness of your spouse is your strength.
Exactly.
That's how it is. That's how God pairs us.
If you find yourself in two, both of you are the same temperament or personalities, don't even fight. You are already married.
Yeah.
All you need to do is learn to be the other. For example, if I'm a go-getter, I would want things to be done. I want to be productive. She has to still thinking. She has to still think, for me, is it safe? Have we calculated? Do we have a budget? You know, and if I go too fast, she'll pull me. Sit first, see this. You know, if she's too thinking too much, I will pull her.
Yeah, if I'm too slow in analyzing issues and come up with an answer, you would like just pull me, hey, you're taking too long.
And that works like fire.
So it balances. If he's too quick, I'll pull him down. Oh, please hold your fire. You're going too fast for me.
Yeah.
So that kind of balances us up. So we've discovered even couples, the way you are, God has paired you perfectly.
And on the communication also, we discovered that we're digging into the past, especially for her.
Yeah.
She would remind me, you remember that day, remember this day, remember that day.
You did this. And
then I would argue and still win the case.
And win the case.
And still more she would be depressed. So we've learned to never dig what has gone. Let the bygones be the bygones. The new dawn must come.
Yeah.
So we have about 8 minutes, about 7 minutes. We would want to probably
chat 2 questions. 2. The first one is from what we have shared with you, which one has been the most difficult for you to navigate through as a couple? From the little that we've shared with you, which one among those has been the most difficult to navigate through or to pull through as a couple? Because remember, sometimes these issues, if we don't work on them early, they can continue in marriage for 10 years, 10 years, 20 years, 30 years.
And even when you reach 10 years, you are very blessed.
Yeah.
Because usually it's just 5 years.
Some they even divorce.
They just divorce. And we don't want you guys to divorce. I hate divorce with passion.
Yes.
I suffered through divorce.
Yeah.
So I don't want any of you to divorce.
Yeah. So from what we've shared, what has been the most difficult for you to navigate through? Okay, I can't see any hand. Okay. Yes,
Mr.
Austin Ngomi, you can come through.
Mr. Ngomi from
Mr. Ngomi, please, you can unmute yourself and
from Norway. Yeah, Mr. Ngomi, please.
Hello. Yeah, this is Pastor Ngomi calling from Barcelona in Spain. Yeah, it's a very important topic, and the part that really touched me is when you talked about a situation where the parents divorce and then later on the children remain. When they grow up, that thing remains in their mind, and when it comes to divorce, it's not a very big problem to them actually, because it seems like it's a normal thing. They have experienced it before, and at the end of the day, it's not really a very bad thing. But sometimes also, it's something that whereby if that divorce which took place, children suffered so much, and they know really how bad it is for parents to separate. Yeah. Sometimes also it's something that whereby if someone who has experienced that and then he gets married to someone who doesn't know the consequences of divorce, it's very difficult for them to understand. But really, even in my case, most of the time we experience that kind of situation whereby we were from a polygamy family with one father, and we are 17 of us in the family. Then later on, our mother was divorced, and then we remained with our stepmother. The treatment that we passed through were so bad. Even some of us to get where we are, and then we had even the privilege to get educated and do some things here and there by the grace of God. It was just by the grace of God and struggling. Supposing our father and mother did not divorce, we could have done certain things at early stages because our father had the capability to do so. But just because of the divorce, really the impact was so much on us, and it was very difficult to progress in life. So for the Christians as believers, definitely I think these lessons that you are teaching are very important for the believers, because we need to adopt this. Once you get married, you need to know that this marriage is for life. Divorcing is very, very, very much consequential, and it's not the right solution to any marriage problem.
It was our personality.
Yeah.
That one took some bit of time for us. With these others, we had to work on them as quickly as we could. The background didn't take us long. Communication didn't take us long, but our personalities dragged us. Yeah, that one we had to drag and learn each other. Like for 2 years. That's when we had to like settle down and stuff like that. Okay, Mr. Sunkutu, it's fine. Even if you've joined late, you are most welcome. Yeah. So let me go to the next question. I'm going to the next question on our list. This is the last one. How do you think you will improve your marriage from today, looking at what we've looked at? How are you going to improve your marriage? Okay, as we are thinking through, I'll be looking when I see a hand. Okay, Lady Mango, you can come through. You can.
Hi, good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for sharing your journey and just how you have navigated through to be where you are and be a testimony to many marriages, including us on this chat. I guess it's a process, it's a journey, and we have to live. For me, I have to live each day intentionally, knowing and remembering that we are all unique as individuals in a marriage. We still have our own background and we still have our own personality. But having said that, we need now to bring in the Holy Spirit, the one who knows the deeper things of our hearts and who knows everything about us, and the one who brings that fruit of the Spirit, which will now help us to navigate through all the issues that will come. So when we bring in the Holy Spirit in between our background, our personalities, and everything, the experiences that we have had, what the Holy Spirit is going to do is to help us manifest each fruit at the right season when we are handling issues. So instead of disconnecting, instead of fighting, instead of arguing, instead of differing all the time, instead of wanting to win all the time, the fruit of the Spirit is there: patience, there will be kindness, there will be love, there will be self-control, and there will be gentleness. And that is what will help us every day to navigate. No matter what we can do, if we just try to live it in our own power and just with knowledge, the Bible says that the letter kills, but the Spirit gives life. It's the Spirit of God that is going to give us life. So for me, that's what I'm going to take. Remembering the backgrounds and the differences and the personalities, but what I'll bring in is the Holy Spirit, who will guide and teach and lead us unto all truth and bring our marriage to fruition and the success. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you very
Lady Wango,
much.
for coming through. You improve your marriage from today. This is what we've like decided, me and him.
Yeah.
We've like what the background that we were telling you concerning ourselves, we've worked on those.
Yeah.
And we are, of course, still improving on them, because remember, marriage, you continue learning, you don't stop learning, forever learning. So we are still improving on them. But one thing that we're going to work on to improve our marriage is that we've decided, starting this year, we want to be attending some international marriage retreats.
Yeah.
So we are beginning in October. There's one that we want to go to in October.
Yeah.
So deliberately, we decided we'll be doing it every year, apart from our yearly vacation that we normally do with our children. We've also adopted this one whereby we just go, just the two of us, and we mingle with other couples. So we deliberately decided this, I think, will improve our marriage. We'll be going on international marriage retreats once a year.
Yeah.
Just deliberately.
Yeah, we've been doing these outings for the past years. That has improved us a lot.
Yeah.
Let's say the family, maybe we go like every Christmas.
Yeah.
We go just to blend again. But at this time we want to do it at another level,
Yeah.
so that at least we keep improving. We cannot continue doing the same things. We need to look for even better way of doing it. Now, this time around, we are joining other couples. There's a network of couples that want to be going with, like in this October. It's our anniversary month, so it will be worth it. So we want to be doing that so that we keep on improving our marriage, because this is a journey, as Mama Mongo has said. It's a journey that we have to undertake, and we just have to succeed in it. Yeah.
Yes. For those living in Zambia, if you're interested to join us in this retreat, let us know. We can connect you to the people who are in charge of the same, who are organizing it. We can give you their line. You can join the group. It will be awesome. Yeah. And I believe we're going to learn quite a lot of things.
I can't wait.
I can't wait to. It will be a breather. Okay. In conclusion, there's some quoting that I want to do. Like I said, I think the last lady was speaking, Lady Mwango. Like I said, they have a program that they normally do on Facebook every Friday. Marriage and relationships, yeah. But there are times also they like do it on Zoom. Yeah. So there's this other time they had it on Zoom. They invited us.
Yeah.
There's something that we learned from one of the speakers that they called. There's this speaker, is it Bishop Eddie Chansa?
Yeah, something like that.
Something like that. Please correct me if I've misquoted that name wrongly. He gave us what he called the 10 commandments of marriage. So we want to end with that.
Harrison Sakala.
Sorry?
Bishop Harrison Sakala.
Oh, yeah. Yes, thank you. Bishop Harrison Sakala, yeah. That was one of the speakers that she invited with her husband. So this bishop taught us about the 10 commandments of marriage.
Yeah.
Though I think I only managed to get 9. I think I missed the 10th. I don't know if you didn't say the 10th, but we managed to copy 9. So we are going to read them through. Maybe they'll help 1 or 2 from here, like they helped us. So these are the commandments that Bishop Sakala gave us, the commandments of marriage. I'm just reading them through. The first one, put your partner on a high place. Put your partner on a high place. The second one, strengthen your spouse's character. I think we're working on that one.
Yeah.
It's working very well.
Yeah.
Strengthen your spouse's character.
Yeah. Because you know, each one has the individuality. There must be some boundaries, but you make sure that you lift the strength and you just strengthen it. You know, there's no competition in marriage. So you just strengthen it. That works for both of you, actually.
Yes. Before I continue with the third one, just to answer a question, someone is asking, what is the name of Lady Mwango's Facebook show? Okay, the name is Marriage and Relationship Conversations.
Yeah.
Marriage and Relationship Conversations. You can like the page and you'll be seeing her with her husband every Friday.
Yeah.
They come every Friday.
They are really a blessing.
They're a blessing, yeah. So the third commandment, according to Bishop Sakala, is that prepare for the pit and not for the peak. Prepare for the pit and not for the peak. Just to comment on that one, I think mostly couples, when we get married, we have like high expectations about each other.
Yeah.
And because of that, we end up getting disappointed, and that makes us look at marriage as if it's not worthy.
Yeah. You are expecting things, high expectations, but your experience is contrary
Yeah.
to what you're expecting. That also brings an issue in a marriage.
Yeah.
So you need to look at those as well as the negatives. That's why they say that you're marrying not for only the negatives or the positives, but for both.
Yeah.
You know, whatever you pass through, just know that you are going to marry and you're stuck.
Yeah, you're stuck forever. So prepare for the peak and not for the peak. That's the third commandment.
For better, for worse.
For better, for worse. The fourth one, break bread together. So when we looked at this one with my husband, we're like, the other way of interpreting it is, please worship at the same church.
Yeah.
Or the same, I don't know, some maybe the same religion. You know, go to the same church, learn to pray together, learn to read the Bible together. So break bread together. That unites you and you remain stuck like glue and what. Okay, the fifth one is the fifth one that he gave us is that swing into slow motion style. Take time to know your partner. Swing into slow motion style. Take time to know your partner. Then the sixth one is anything left itself is bound to deteriorate. Anything left by itself is bound to deteriorate. Work on your marriage, keep it alive at all times. This one reminds me of, I want to quote you.
Yeah.
I want to quote my husband. It reminds me of certain saying that he normally likes saying when he's preaching, that whatever you do not appreciate, depreciate. Anything you do not appreciate, depreciate. So imagine you're in this marriage and you don't appreciate it. Maybe 1 year, 2 years down the line, you stop appreciating your partner, your marriage. It will depreciate. And you end up saying that marriage is shipikisha club, or marriage is, how do you say shipikisha in English?
It's a prison.
It's a prison. So it's not. So don't neglect your marriage. Work on it. Then the seventh one is getting rid of lust. Get rid of lust. The eighth one is keep communication line open. Keep communication line open. The ninth one is seek for some solitude. seek for some solitude. I don't know the 10th one. So those are the commandments of marriage according to Bishop Sakala. Yeah, I think you can.
Wow, thank you very much, everyone, for coming through.